Hi, I'm Luke Searveld. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Gaffer. We're on a very simple set. It's a virtual event, and we've got a nice 20-foot video wall behind us. That's, the video walls these days have gotten really sharp, really good. And they take the light pretty well. We still wanted to take our key light off of it a bit. We went through some machinations to figure that out. But basically we're just front keying it with 4 S60 sky panels. We've put, we were gonna put some soft bags on them and then skirt in front, but the skirt was getting in the way of our wide shot. So we went ahead and put some snap grids on these. 2 of them do have the smaller boxes, the snap boxes with snap grids on those. And that just takes the curse off of the reflection on the LED wall. The LED wall can take it as far as output, but we were seeing a reflection of the actual units. So we brought in a skirt, but that got in the way of our wide shot. So this is working out for our key. We've got about 45-foot candles. We're working with some pretty slow cameras. They're rated at about 200 ISO, and then so we're running at below a 2.8 on our f-stop. So 45-foot candles. Then our backlights are just 2 select 41s and 2 select 31s. So those are LED Kinos. We went with sort of a small form factor. They're freestyle, so we can take off the outside doors, just keep the hard grids in them, and it gives them a little nicer, stronger backlight than if we put snap bags on them, and it keeps the form factor nice and small. We could have rigged those off the grid, but this stage was put in place even though we asked for it to not be put down until we got the backlights up. But instead we put a ladder truss up there and then safetied it in the middle to the grid. And originally we put it on 2 panel stands, but that wasn't quite high enough for the height of our LED wall and for the large shot of from the jib. So we ended up putting it on 2 high rollers. Then in the back, we've got 4 daylight HDs. So those are LED ETC source 4s, and then with actual green gel. So instead of using RGB units, we're going with gel, and that's just a client ask, and we've got different patterns in there, but we'll work that out with the client as far as what they actually want and how sharp they want those. We'll do that later. We'll have 1 to 3 people up here, and very straightforward. We're not doing any kind of side light, any kind of real edges or anything. It's just really straightforward, boom, bang, and it'll end up on the web. So I'm not standing out there, so not lit that well. We're getting scuff marks on this black really quickly, so instead of cleaning it all the time, I'm standing out here. We've got 2 cameras out here, and then you can see there's the swooping jib behind, just to kind of show everything, the behind the scenes as we go. So very straightforward, but we're trying to keep it nice and clean. There's rows of technicians making this all happen, network to the world, and it's going to be great. So thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. So this is what I drew up ahead of time so I could send it off to my key grip, Jason Gittens, so he'd have an idea what we were getting into. Here's the channel view in blackout. Doesn't get any simpler. So one thing I've noticed is that during COVID here, event companies were not doing any work. Then, in order to get work, they worked with their customers to say, hey, we can do virtual events. So I've been doing a fair amount of that kind of work. So working with folks that normally do events in large halls that get lit by, large AV companies, now are turning to people who can do more location work, or like this, a stage job. And what's interesting, one of the things that's interesting is the pricing is a little different, because normally if you're setting up an event, you're working with a large rental house that does, 1 day weeks kind of thing. We don't work on that in corporate land. We're much more, pay per day kind of. Maybe if you have a week, you give a 3-day week or something, but in this case, for a 2-day job, a set and a shoot, we don't do that. Anyway, so kind of interesting, but we can work together and we work it out, and it's been fun doing different kinds of work. So it's not that different, it's presentations and stuff, but it's for events, and this will just show up on the Zoom somewhere on the web.